Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Triad Travelogues. I am Richard, coming at you today from the outskirts of Shanghai, China. And I want to talk to you a little bit about three videos that I have put up there. The most popular videos on, well, some of the most popular videos on my channel. And they are videos that document some of the animal abuse that I've seen while I've been living and working in China. Now, I want to, oh, that's my baby Leotie, by the way, that's screaming in the background. I have baby duty today, so I'm watching the baby. She's running around and yelling and screaming. And before I started this, this video, I told her, Leotie, I'm doing a video. You really need to just, keep your little mouth shut. And I guess she just either didn't understand or she just doesn't care because she's not keeping her mouth shut. But anyway, I want to specifically respond to some of the criticism that I have gotten for these videos. Not only are these videos the most popular videos on my channel, they also are the most downvoted or thumbs downed videos on my channel. People really don't like these videos. I think a lot of those thumbs down are people that see the content at face value. Just, it's whatever. It's a video of an animal being abused, or it's a video of an animal that's suffering unnecessarily. And so they say, I don't like this, and they push the thumbs down button. So I think some people are not necessarily thumbs downing my content or my commentary, but they don't like the abuse. They don't like what the video just shows. Now, so there's three videos. One is, a video where a crowd of Chinese people in the city I live in Songjiang, are watching this monkey. This guy that's got these monkeys, and he's sort of doing this show and kind of demeaning and abusing and terrifying these monkeys. And the crowd is just enjoying it, and they love it, and they're watching him and giving him money, and they're kind of, they're encouraging this really just terrible abuse toward these monkeys. There's another video that I have where it's a dog, a little puppy dog that somebody had locked inside of the container that's attached to their bicycle. I guess they went into the Walmart store. They went into shop and they just left it, and it was really hot. It was like I think it was July or August. I don't remember. It was a hot day, and this dog was just suffering, sitting in the little basket, on somebody's bicycle. They just locked him in there. He had no room to move and no water, no food. And he was in there for a while. He was in there for a good, hour. And then the other video was this old dude that was carrying around this like rice bag with puppy dogs in it. I think there were 2 or 3 puppy dogs. I think there's 2 dogs. He's just dragging this bag of puppies around. And I recorded these. These were just opportunistic videos. They were videos that I recorded because I saw something and I thought, oh, that's really disgusting. It bothers me emotionally, so I'm going to record this. I've recorded actually a lot of these kinds of videos, but I've only put 3 of them up. And I probably won't do any more of these kinds of videos because I've been accused of using them to get views. And I don't want people to look at that content and to associate that with my channel, like this is what I'm doing. This, like, look at the animal abuse I've seen. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys can hear that. Not in addition to the baby yelling and screaming, also my iPad is going off with notifications that I have messages on WeChat, and the people and somebody in this apartment complex is doing construction, because in China, it's nonstop construction. It is construction all the time, every day, 365 days a year. There is always construction going on. And so, like, you just deal with the noise. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So These videos that I put up are not the content I want people to think about when they think about Triad Travelogues. I'm up to like 200, almost 250 subscribers. I want this to be related to travel, philosophy of travel. I don't want to focus on these just exclusively negative things, but those videos are the most popular videos. I don't know what that says about the general public. You know, people are just clicking through and watching all the videos that they can find that are, you know, associated with animal abuse. I guess. I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't typically, you know, I have other videos that are pretty popular. I have a video called Why I Left America to Live in China. That video is popular. And, you know, when people leave nice comments on that video, they tend to subscribe to the channel. But the other videos, like the animal abuse videos, those people don't subscribe to the channel. So I'm not getting subscribers, okay? And my content or my channel is demonetized. I don't have enough subscribers to have monetization. So when generally, I think those animal abuse videos, they give me views, but they don't really help me out in any way in terms of like my channel's popularity. So, you know, just to get rid of that idea that like I put those up just because I want people to come to my channel like as bait, you know, look at these monkeys being abused. Come to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Like, I'm not making any money on this. Okay. You know, I've never been paid out by YouTube ever. Even when my channel was monetized, you know, I've never actually received a check. I have not reached that point where they even would be like, oh, you know, you've made enough money for us to actually pay you out. So I'm doing this for free. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to address some of the criticism I've had for each video. I'm going to start with the monkey video. Okay. By far, I think it's the most popular video on my channel, which is really sad. It's a video about a guy who's got these 3 monkeys and he's abusing them basically for the entertainment of the crowd. And look, it's disgusting. Okay. And I said that in the video. Look, this is disgusting. I think it's disgusting that this guy is doing this to these monkeys. You can obviously tell that the monkeys are traumatized, that they're scared. I think it's disgusting. And I think what's really disgusting is the crowd's reaction to this guy beating and abusing and just, you know, terrifying these monkeys. The crowd thought it was good. It was funny. And I was saying, hey, what's wrong with this culture? Like, why do people think that this is acceptable behavior? Now, one thing that people have come on and said, and this is legitimate, that these are not capuchin monkeys. Like in the video, I referred to these monkeys as capuchin monkeys, and they're not capuchin monkeys. Okay. I was wrong about that. I've had a few people come and correct me and say, those aren't capuchin monkeys. Okay, good. Yeah, you're right. They're not. That was my fault. I am not an expert on monkeys. Apparently, I am retarded when it comes to monkey identification, and I apologize for that. It doesn't change anything, you know, if they're capuchin monkeys or whatever. If they're, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of monkeys they are. It's still kind of deplorable behavior. But I do want to acknowledge that, yeah, I was wrong about the type of monkey. Okay. The other thing that people have come on to my channel and say, you can go through and look at the comments on that. I'm going to link to all these videos and you can just go read all the comments that people leave. They're almost exclusively just negative comments. So, you know, I've been accused of being a hypocrite. Like, how can you say that this behavior is deplorable when SeaWorld exists in your home country? Because I'm from the United States. What about SeaWorld? Don't you think that SeaWorld is disgusting? You're a hypocrite because you're from the United States and the United States has SeaWorld. Well, I don't think that it really requires a lot of logic to see why there's a problem with that statement. Okay, I don't go to SeaWorld. I'm against SeaWorld. I don't go to the zoo. I'm against. I don't like seeing animals in cages. I don't like seeing animals forced to do these. I don't like animals being exploited in any way. And I'm not like an animal rights person. I'm not an animal rights activist. I'm not a vegetarian. I eat meat. I'm not. You know, I'm not doing this self-righteous thing. When I originally made the monkey video, my response to what I saw was a purely emotional response. I saw this thing, I thought it was gross, I videotaped it, and I wanted to show my viewers, this is, you see this when you're traveling, you see this especially in Asia, you see this in China, you see, this kind of apathy toward animals, this the abuse and just neglect. You see it all the time. And that was it. I've had other people say, in the comments, like, you need to propose a solution. You can't complain about something unless you are able to propose a solution to the problem. No, that's not true. Like, what world do you live in? Why do I have to it's like I'm not allowed or able to reasonably identify a problem if I can't provide a solution? That's crazy. I can look around and see all kinds of problems, regardless of where I'm at. My home country, China, anywhere I travel, I can look around and see problems. I am a cynical, negative, pessimistic person, and I am an expert at seeing problems with everything and everybody. You know what? It is not my job to provide solutions. I'm just pointing it out. This is something that affects me emotionally, and I don't like it. And that's it. I don't owe you or anybody else a solution to a problem that I've identified, unless it's my problem, unless it's a problem with me. And there's plenty of problems with me, okay? And I got all kinds of issues. And hey, those are things that I need to work on. Other people's problems are just things that irritate me or affect me emotionally or whatever. Okay, another thing. And by the way, I want to say, like, the United States of America, I don't believe that the United States of America is anywhere near where it needs to be in terms of dealing with animals. I think SeaWorld should be shut down completely. I hate SeaWorld. A few years back, they talked about, I guess they're not going to be breeding whales in captivity anymore, which means eventually they won't have any more whales. I think that's a great thing. I think that they should be shut down. I would even go a step further and say, like, I don't like zoos. I don't like the idea that in order to preserve this kind of legacy of these animals, we should lock them up in cages and have people pay money to go see them. I don't like that. Okay. So I'm not saying that, look at how awful Chinese people are compared to how great that we are in America. Okay, I'm not stupid. I understand that that's ridiculous, and we have a long way to go in the United States. But if that guy that I saw when I made that monkey video, that was a couple of years back, if that guy was in downtown Houston, right, or Dallas, or any city in the United States of America, that crowd of people would react a lot differently than the Chinese crowd. Most people would be disgusted by what he was doing. He would probably get arrested. The animals would get taken away from him. So in that sense, America does have a better concept of animal rights. So yeah, America's better in that sense. Sorry if that offends people, but it is the truth. America has a long way to go, but China has way longer to go. Okay. Let's see. Oh, so this is another one that I get. This is the one I get the most, I think, the criticism for the monkey video. You say that you don't like seeing those monkeys being abused. Why don't you save them yourself? Or, a lot of people come on and say, man, I would kick that guy's ass. I'd save those monkeys. I'd follow him down a dark hallway and I'd beat the shit out of him. Really? That's what you would do, really? Is that what you would do? You beat that guy's ass and you'd rescue those monkeys? I want you to really think about that for a minute. Okay, really think about that. Why don't I save these monkeys? Okay, number one, I'm a white dude. I am a foreigner. I am in a country whose laws are much different than the laws that are in my country. The culture is much different than the culture in my country. And I don't know if you noticed by watching that video, but I am outnumbered. Okay, when I took that video, I was the only foreigner, I mean, the only person from outside of the continent of Asia, at least, that was there. Everybody else, probably like 90 some odd percent, are Chinese people. And I don't know if you noticed this, but that crowd of people that were surrounding that guy doing his little monkey act, they were happy. They had no problem with what he was doing. How do you propose that I save those monkeys or kick his ass? How do you propose that I do that? I jump in there like Batman and just beat him up. You know, beat the guy to death, take his monkeys, and then the crowd's going to cheer me on? No. If I jumped in there, now I probably would get attacked by the monkeys. They probably would bite me and give me rabies, and you know, I'd probably be done before I even, you know, got the chance to try and rescue them. You know, like I think there were 3 monkeys and a dog and a huge crowd of people. You think that crowd of people would just let me take those monkeys? I mean, like, first they'd be really, really angry with me for making the judgment that what they were doing was wrong. You know, face is this big thing in China. I gotta save face, and losing face is such a big deal. And like, if I show them, especially in a large crowd, hey, I'm a superhero. I'm a superhero from the United States of America. You know, I come from a moral compass that's much more aligned than yours. And I'm going to steal these monkeys. I'm going to take them because this abuse is wrong. You guys are wrong and I'm right. You have no idea how that would affect these people psychologically. It would just be like, they would just be very, very angry because, you know, I think somewhere they probably understand that on some level. They probably understand that, yeah, that is really messed up, isn't it? Like, it is kind of messed up to be standing around entertained by the, you know, the suffering of innocent little creatures. That's probably really weird. But I don't think that they would just acquiesce to my declarations and just hand over the monkeys. You know, that whole crowd would just jump that old man and beat him and say, save the monkeys, white man from the United States. You're our savior. No, that wouldn't happen. The crowd would attack me and beat me to death. Okay? And you know, Chinese people are not violent, but I would bet that I would get beat up by that crowd if I tried to take the monkeys. The point is, I would not succeed. I would not succeed in saving the monkeys. And let's just hypothetically, let's say in some alternate dimension, I'm able to rescue those monkeys. Okay, so now I got 3 monkeys and a dog, and I'm able to get them away from that dude and take them home with me, okay? What am I going to do with those monkeys? I can't call the police because I just stole the property of another person. That those monkeys are considered, that man, I assume, are considered that dude's property. I can't just steal stuff from him. Okay, theft is a pretty big deal in China. I'm not sure what the consequences would be, but I got a wife and a kid to go home to. I have a job. I can't be stealing people's property. Yeah, regardless of what you think about an animal being considered property, that's how it is. So once I got those monkeys, I couldn't go to the police. I certainly couldn't keep them in my house. I already have a monkey. So what am I going to do with them? I mean, I know from a little bit of research that I've done that there are places that you can bring animals in Shanghai, like in the city where it's more developed and more like urbanized or westernized or what. There are places you can bring strays, but they take like dogs and cats. And I think if I brought some monkeys to them, there would be more questions that would be very uncomfortable. And I think probably the police would become involved. I don't know, but I would never get to that point, right? I'm never going to be able to steal monkeys in a situation like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. That's pretty much that's most of the criticism. There are other things on that video. People go onto that video and just use it as a platform to be racist. and just say awful things about Chinese people, you know, calling them savages or slanty-eyed or whatever. Just, you know, oh, these savages. Like, look, there are problems. You know, the video, obviously, it shows that there are problems with this culture. But it is a problem with the culture. It's not a racial issue. It's just an issue with the culture and the way that the culture looks at certain things. And unfortunately, for somebody like me from the West, that is that I have compassion for animals. Seeing an animal suffering, it makes me feel bad. Maybe it's selfish to want to save an animal because it makes me feel bad to see it suffering. Maybe it's just me, and compassion is this selfish thing. That's a whole philosophical argument for another day. But you know, it's not the people. Okay, so I don't normally respond to any of the comments on that video because they're normally just asinine. And I'm using this video so I can just kind of respond to all of the general comments that I get for that video. So yeah, I don't delete comments. I'm not into censorship, so whatever. People want to go and say racist things, that's whatever. I'm not going to encourage it. I just want to say now here that I disagree with all of those racist things that people say about China or Asia or just any race. My race, you know, it's a cultural issue, and it's an issue with the culture, and there are very serious issues with this culture. There are serious issues with my culture too. So, you know, but it's not race. Don't make it a race issue. Okay. All right. The next video there is a puppy dog, and he's locked up in a bike, in a little cage or basket that's on somebody's bicycle while they're shopping. It's really hot outside. And, you know, I said, this is how they treat animals in China. And some people have come on to that video and said, what do you mean this is how they treat animals? That's generalizing. Not everybody in China treats animals like this. And okay, hey, you're right. That is generalizing, and I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm not going to take the video down. You know, but I can retract that. Hey, look, you're right. It's not necessarily how they treat animals in China, but it is more widely accepted to view animals as just sort of disposable property here than it is in the United States. So in that sense, I can say that, you know, it is acceptable to a certain point to treat animals like this in China. I mean, certainly, you know, there were no passerbys that seemed concerned about it. So, you know, hey, when I was living in Baltimore, I've seen the police called on a dog that was sitting in a hot car on a summer day by two different people. Two people called the police, and there were 3 cars that were parked around this dude's car waiting for this guy to come from the store so they could yell and scream at him. Okay, so, and that's a similar situation where a guy was neglecting an animal and causing him to suffer while he went to shop, and the cops were called and a lot of people were concerned. Don't want to compare cultures, but yeah, so I think there's a little bit of validity for me saying, like, this is how they treat animals in China. So I could maybe revise that and say, this is how a lot of people do treat animals in China. And if you look around, you can see it's sort of just generally accepted or at least ignored. Another thing that people say on that video is, why don't you give the dog water? Why don't you give the dog food? Look, you know, again, I'm in China. I do not, I generally I keep to myself, and I generally don't take any action against anything that is not directly affecting me. I have been taught over the last 4 years by observing that this is how you deal with life in China. People keep to themselves. It's not something that I like, but it is something that you have to do to survive in this culture. If I were to stop I walk around a lot, every day I go out and I walk around. I probably walk for at least 2 hours a day for various reasons. I don't have a car here. I take the metro a lot. Any day that I get out and walk for a couple of hours, I'll see at least one instance of animal abuse, animal suffering, animal neglect, just general disregard for the well-being of an animal. If I stopped and tried to help all of those animals, I would just be doing it all day long. It's like when I was in Nepal. I took a lot of pictures in Nepal of some of the kids that were on the streets, and I would show people when I got home. I lived in Kathmandu for a year. I would show people like these kids are living on the streets. I met this kid that told me he didn't have a name. He's like, I don't have a name. No one ever gave me a name. And people will be like, instead of taking pictures of them, why don't you help them? Well, I can't do that. There are thousands and thousands of these kids. They're everywhere. There are poor people everywhere. There are suffering people everywhere. I can't help them all. And eventually you get to the point where you say, look, there's something that I can do. This thing that I was working at an orphanage. I don't think that that's a good thing. Looking back, I realized that the voluntourism industry in Nepal is a terrible, terrible industry, and it's something that nobody should ever be involved with. But at the time, I was in that industry, and I was trying to help, and I wanted to help. And to me, it was like, well, I'm doing this thing to help, and that's the thing I'm doing. It's like when you go to the grocery store and they say, do you want to give $1 to breast cancer? And you say, no, I'm already giving to this other charity. You can't give to every charity that approaches you. You can't give money or food or water or whatever to every kid that approaches you in the street in Kathmandu. You can't save every suffering animal you see in China. You just can't. I have, after all of my attempts at altruism in Nepal and beyond, I have come to the conclusion that the best way to make the world a better place is to make yourself a better person and to teach your own children to be good, quality, decent, caring, compassionate people, to build your own network of goodness and happiness. And you need to focus on yourself. I really do believe that that's how we make the world a better place. I'm not saying that there's not a place for altruism. I'm not saying that you shouldn't give to charity or you shouldn't try to help people. I'm just saying that there are so much that can be done in the world. There are so many people that can be helped. Unless you are some just all-powerful, all-wealthy person with unlimited amounts of time on your hands, an unlimited amount of resources, you can't help everybody, So did I give that dog water? No, I did not give that dog water. Did I give that dog food? No. Did I take the dog out of the basket and bring him home? No, I didn't. Do I feel guilty about that? No, I don't. I like with the monkey video, I saw an animal that was suffering and I thought, look, I have this platform. It's a small, tiny little platform right now. And back then it was even smaller. I probably had like 20 subscribers back then when I made the monkey video. But whatever, I can use this platform to show people this is the kind of thing that you see. This is the kind of reaction that people have to animal abuse where I'm living. And it's more of, I didn't really want it to be about China. I wanted to focus more on this is what you see when you travel. And when you come from a place that's considered to be developed, that you like the United States, some of this stuff might shock you. And this is what I see. And I'm pointing the camera and I'm videotaping. But no, I'm not getting involved in people's lives. And I'm certainly not breaking into somebody's bike. I think even if I open that thing up, it would be considered vandalism or theft or whatever. I know it sounds bad, but I could go around the city all day long with bottles of water and just hand out water and food to stray animals. And I don't have the time to do that. I am focusing on myself because I have to. I have to make money. I have to take care of my daughter. I have to take care of my wife. I'm supporting a family. So I want to say this again. The fact that I take a videotape, the fact that I make a video instead of helping somebody or helping an animal, that does not mean that I care less than somebody who tries to help. I'm doing what I can, like, you know, and again, normally I just look at it and I say, well, that sucks. And I just keep walking. That's just how it is. I mean, what else can I really do? You know, I could go on an endless campaign helping animals, but I would have no money and I would have no job and I would get deported and probably arrested. So, yeah. Let's go to the next video, which is the one where the old dude was carrying around a bag of puppies. First, I've had a few people come to that video and say that you said, you know, your title is clickbait because you said the bag was filled with puppies and there's only 2 puppies in there. I think there are 2 or 3. I think there were 2. There's only 2 puppies in there. It's not filled. Okay. I don't know how to respond to that. You're right. It was clickbait, but you clicked on it, didn't you? So I got you, didn't I? I got you. Now subscribe to my channel. Sorry. Oh, I scared the baby. It's okay, little baby. It's okay. Oh, I scared the baby. She's like, Daddy's a monster. Oh. Okay. So the other video, what else can I say about that one? Some people say maybe he was just carrying the dogs to home and he's going to give them a good home. Maybe he was going to eat those dogs. That's what some people say. And I want to address that real quick too. For people who say like it's racist to say that Chinese people eat dogs. No, it's not. Chinese people do eat dogs. They don't all eat dogs. It's generally looked down upon, but I've seen dogs skinned. Like I've seen carcasses of dogs hung up like they hang up chickens and pigs and sheep and stuff. Like here, just down the street from where I live. Where my wife's from, Jilin, they have dog on the menus at the restaurants. Chinese people do eat dogs. It's not racist to say that. It's the truth. There are places that you can go and buy dog meat. I could go down the street and find some dog meat right now if I wanted to. So was he going to go eat those puppies? I don't know. I feel like a puppy wouldn't really have a lot of good meat on them. Maybe. I don't know. What I think he was doing is he found some puppies and he was trying to sell them. That's what I think. And my issue with that guy was not like that he had puppies. It was that he was just dragging them around in a bag and the puppies were scared. Like when I first saw him, he was carrying this bag and you could hear these muffled like. And I was like, oh my God, that guy's got a bag of like puppies. You know, so I got my camera out or my phone and I started recording. And then some other people have come onto that video and said like, why are you speaking English to that guy? You're such a stupid foreigner. Like you think everybody knows English. He obviously doesn't speak English. Yeah, you're right. You're right. My Chinese is very, very bad. I don't even make attempts to speak Chinese to people because I'm embarrassed by my terrible, terrible Chinese. And you're right. It's pointless to talk to him in English. Okay, you're right. I am a stupid, stupid foreigner. And I don't speak good Chinese. And I live in China. And I should speak better Chinese so that I wouldn't be looked at as such a stupid foreigner. You're right. You're absolutely right. I can't refute that. There's really not much I can say about this video that I haven't already said about the other videos. I'm not going to make these videos anymore unless I see something very serious. There's a lot of puppy mills here, just stores that have just crates of puppies and kittens that you can buy that are emaciated and sick. And look, I see it all the time, you know. China has a long way to go in terms of being compassionate toward animals. I'm going to tell you a story and then this video is going to be done. I got a lot of work to do. Triad Travelogues is working on a lot of great things. We're putting together a content-based website with a lot of stuff from our Trans-Mongolian Railway experience from a couple of years ago when the baby was only 3 months old. I'm working on, I'm trying to get to post more videos to YouTube more often. I've been very inconsistent with my video posting. So, hey, look, we're expanding, we're building. We're trying to get to the point where I get $2 a month from YouTube so I can eat some ramen noodles once a month and maybe put a little bit of cheese in there and, I don't know, some hot peppers or whatever. Okay, we're trying to eat here. I want to tell you a story about a time that I did save a cat in China, okay? Hopefully this will redeem me to you, and you'll say, oh, see, Richard's not that bad. Richard's a nice guy. He's not an apathetic, piece of shit. So I was walking down the street at night on a holiday. I don't remember what holiday this was. It was about a year ago, and I was drinking a beer because I like to walk down the street and drink a beer. It makes me feel good because I can't do that in the United States legally, and I don't think I can do it here legally either, but just nobody cares. Walking down the streets, drinking a beer. Now, mind you, I'm not intoxicated. I'm just drinking a beer. Sometimes I like to do this at night, especially if I've been working all day. It helps me to unwind before I go home. Right? 1 beer, 2 beers tops. Okay. Big beers, but So I'm walking down the street and I see this family, and this family is surrounding this tree. And it's obvious that they're messing with something. There is a dad who is very fat. That has nothing to do with the story, but I just want to point out, dude was fat. Okay. And then his wife, I assume it was his wife. It's a good assumption because we're in China. So you're not even allowed to have kids if you're not married. And then there's a very little girl. She's so little that she is in a stroller. She's probably like 3. But you see kids that are like 10 in strollers here. Like sometimes. Anyway, has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So this girl was, she's a little girl sitting in a stroller. And then there was an older girl, probably 6 or 7 years old. And I know immediately when I see from across the street, I know what's happening. They've cornered an animal and they are just messing with it. The woman, the mom, has a stick, okay, and the daughter that's like 6 or 7 is kicking. So I go over and I see there's a wounded cat, not a kitten and not like an adult cat. It's like a teenage cat, this orange cat, because every cat is orange in China for some reason. There's so many orange cats around here. I don't know why that is. It's something I've often pondered, why there's so many orange cats here. But so there's basically, obviously the cat's sick or wounded or something because the cat's not moving. I mean, it's just kind of standing there, and this girl is kicking him. 6 or 7-year-old girl is kicking this cat, and the mom is throwing sticks at this cat. And the little girl that is in the stroller that's being pushed by the mom is just watching. And the dad is standing there. Of course, he's smoking a cigarette because he's a man and he's in China. So you just don't see a man in China that's not smoking a cigarette. He's smoking a cigarette, and they're kicking this cat. And the cat's just standing there letting him do it. And they're not even laughing about it. They're just like, it's just this kind of apathetic, bored, like, oh, I'm going to kick this cat. I'm kind of bored doing it, but I don't have anything else to do. I'm going to kick a cat. Kicking the cat, throwing sticks at the cat. And there were kind of some people that were around, like, watching. Nobody was upset about it or telling them to stop. So I was a little buzzed on some black beer. I think it was some black beer, some Guinness or something like that. Some stout. And I said, hey, stop it. Why are you doing that? Like, I don't think they spoke any English, but I was like, stop doing that. Like, why are you kicking the cat? What's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you just kick a cat? For any, like, what's wrong with you? This whole family, a whole family, standing around. This little girl is watching this behavior, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is a good, nice, wholesome family activity. Let's stand around and kick a cat and throw sticks at it. This is how you treat animals, little girl. Like, so I went and yelled and screamed at them. And you know what? They stopped, and they looked around. And they didn't say anything to me. They walked away. But I could see on their faces what they were feeling. And what were they feeling? Was it anger? No. Was it surprise that somebody had spoken up? No, it wasn't even that. You know what it was? It was embarrassment. they felt embarrassed. And the reason they felt embarrassed is because they knew. They knew that what they were doing was wrong. They knew that it's senseless. They knew that. Now, nobody backed me up. There was nobody else that was like, the people that were standing around watching probably were surprised. Like, oh, somebody actually interfered with the business of somebody else. That's a terrible thing. So that whole family just lost face. They lost so much face. They have no more face left. We lost face. So they went home in just absolute, I don't know. Oh, yeah. And the baby doesn't like it when I yell and scream. I'm going to pick up the baby and you guys can say hi to Leotie. Hold on. Okay, babe, come here. Oh, you're heavy. Oh, my God, you're so heavy. Say hello. Hello. Hello? Oh, she just gave you guys a kiss. Did you hear that? She just gave you a kiss. You guys are lucky. Okay, she doesn't just give kisses to everyone, but if you subscribe to my channel, she totally will give you kisses. Not like real kisses, but air kisses, like mwah. Do it again. Give him kisses. Come on. Oh, she's not going to do it again. She only does it once, okay? Anyway, so look, I hope that story that I just told you where I saved that little cat, I hope that redeems me from not doing anything, and just videotaping all the other stuff or whatever. I think people just like to go onto YouTube videos and bitch and just say nasty things. Like, look at that monkey video and look at how many people there just don't even have a basic grasp as to how to formulate sentences. Some of the stuff in that video, some of the comments don't even make any sense. They're just like random series of like dirty words thrown together. Like, it's just, so yeah, I think, and those are probably the same people that wake up in the morning and they're like, they go to YouTube and they type in puppy being kicked and they just follow the rabbit hole. They follow the trail, like all the animal abuse videos, and they just leave incoherent comments on all the videos. So I think that I've just said everything I wanted to say. I plan to make this a 10-minute video and it's well over half an hour now. I did not. Mama. Oh, now the baby I think the baby's up. Look, I got to play with my daughter. I got to go and give this baby some attention. Cause she when I pass the 30-minute mark and I haven't paid attention to her for 30 minutes, it's, she goes into just angry baby mode and it is not pretty. It is not pretty. So I'm going to go and I'm going to play with this baby. And I'm going to I'm going to work on the website a little bit. I hope that I've cleared some stuff up for you guys. Anybody that's actually spent the last 30 minutes listening to me justify my inaction, good on you. Okay? Yeah. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Give this video a big thumbs up. Or you know what? Give it a thumbs down. Huh? Oh, she's hungry. She wants to eat. Okay, so I'm going to go give this baby some food now. I'm not a neglectful parent, I swear to God. Okay, I only have an hour, enough time for me to make this little video. She's been really happy during this whole time. I don't have my video camera out right now. I'm not videotaping, so you can't see, but she's happy running around, destroying the entire apartment. And she's worked herself up into a hunger, so I'm going to give her the rest of her breakfast. Thank you for watching Triad Travelogues. Leave a comment down below if you want to tell me how much you think I suck. Yeah. Thank you for watching Triad Travelogues. We'll see you next time.